The Viewpoint is a student newspaper on campus. We focus on cinematography, photography, social media analytics. Basically, we want to get our students a good overall knowledge of how to use these things in the workplace. We've worked closely with the college. We've actually done our own things. We do interviews. I've actually started a podcast that has taught me a lot about filming, editing, how to structure an interview, and how to create a brand. As a business student, I really wanted to figure out how to create my own persona. Eventually, I would like to go into e-commerce, and then there I would have to develop my own brand as well. So this was a very good hands-on experiment almost for me to really learn what works the best, how to market myself, how to get the best content out of my interviews. And it's been a really fun learning experience. So the podcast I started was called The Grind. So when working on my brand, I really wanted to highlight a certain aspect about Northeast Community College, about the students that go here. And I figured what better student that goes here than athletes, to figure out what drives them, how they do their thing. Because being an athlete, you have to be academically structured and focused too as well. So I had a couple different athletes on, and we learned a lot. We've had from several interviews, we've learned that you really need to focus on your mental strength, your mental toughness, goal setting, what makes you the person you are. And I've learned so much just by talking to these people we've had Max from Italy, we've had Joel from London, and there's just the diverse amount of people and different cultures has really taught me how to look at myself more. And I really strive to create the brand that motivational for other students too, to take away, something that we may have said for other students to figure out, hey, the grind means this to them, and then they might be able to incorporate that philosophy into their life.
Whether rich people or not, because they have something that
One of my favorite interviews was Massimiliano Simonazzi. Before he came to America, he had to teach himself English. And so what he did was he would stick sticky notes on his mirror, on his door, and put in English what those words meant. And so he basically taught himself English. Obviously, when he came over here, he learned a little bit more, but he really wanted to dive deep into our culture to figure out, to learn some things. He's not over here on a vacation. He's over here to really strive and prosper and do his own thing and create a life for himself. So the Viewpoint gave me the tools to create this brand. The grind involved creating logos, creating intros and outros, photo editing and video editing. One of the biggest things I learned was working with Adobe Premiere and how to create a good interview with 3 different cameras. We had our one shot, our 2 shot, and then we had the shot on the interviewee. And it was so cool to be able to learn how to create and develop something that flowed very well. I love listening to podcasts, and I love watching them too. They're more of interviews when you're watching them. But it's so exciting to see my creation kind of slowly develop into something that was, actually looked professional. The biggest thing is I learned from my mistakes. After every episode, I would sit down, I would edit it, and then I would look, okay, I can't say that word. I need to say a different word, or I said this word too many times. I need to ask a better question or something like that. We go from the first development to the last development, and the things that I've gotten better at, the editing, the structuring, and creating our atmosphere too. We got, Northeast gave us a really good opportunity, and we have this room where we can create whatever we wanted. So me and my fellow student Austin, we created this studio, this podcast studio. We had 2 banners. We had one banner here and one banner here, and we had the table in the middle. And it was so exciting to be able to have Northeast, help us out. The business dean, really helped us put everything together, and the associate business dean really helped us find everything we needed, all the resources, the table, the chairs, because they see that what we were doing is exciting. They see that we learned whatever we needed to learn in our classes, and now we are actually applying that to some real world stuff. So it's so exciting for them to see their students excited about creating a project and doing their own thing. I believe the Viewpoint could be beneficial to just about anybody with the excitement to create something. Now we live in the 21st century where social media, YouTube, I mean, you can have a job from YouTube. So being able to understand and create these different videos or create a background with some props and stuff, you can create whatever you want. You can create your own income. You can design a store online by learning how our WordPress site operates, or how we measure our analytics via Hootsuite, or just the different things we do and how we implement it in our real life scenario. You can learn all this, and then you can take that and apply it to whatever you want. No, you don't have to be a business administration student. You just have to have the want to learn and the want to do something different. If you want to start a podcast, or if you want to start a YouTube channel about clothing or art or whatever it may be, or an online store, the Viewpoint gives you the opportunity to look at it and, focus on your writing, focus on getting out in the community and finding leads, working with other teammates. I mean, the teamwork is the biggest thing I've learned with, because, one person can do so much, but with two people, you can do even more. And especially, you can highlight your strengths and your skills and your weaknesses. You have a good person who's very good at cinematography, and then you have somebody else who's a little bit more business-minded. You can really put those two together and do some really cool things. So the Viewpoint has allowed me to bring my idea to fruition. I had the idea to create a podcast. I had the want to create something, and the Viewpoint allowed me the possibility to make it happen. So if you have an idea, don't just let it be an idea. Let it be your reality.